power is distributed. In our body, power is not distributed. Raw materials and oxygen are distributed, but not power. So every cell has to make its own energy, and it relies on CoQ10 and also B vitamins to produce that energy.
Well, and a great price too, and I apologize.
Right.
I see, I've known Andrew for so long, it's so easy for me to get caught up in all the information, but remember, weekend special pricing, so you can get it now for really a fantastic price.
Right.
So 30, 60, 120, and 240. Wow, those are nice savings on this.
And also, there's been some interesting things going on with the world of CoQ10.
Okay.
And the price of CoQ10 has probably tripled within the last, I'd say, 6 months. But our pricing obviously will not triple. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to insulate everybody from that. It's one of the reasons that we haven't been showing CoQ10 much, because we want to make sure that we can have adequate supply to maintain an appropriate price and value to you. So CoQ10, as I said, the real CoQ10, the best CoQ10 in the world, has unfortunately seen a crazy price strike. I think the spike, I think that the manufacturers of CoQ10 kind of got together and said, you know, there's only a few of us. I think we can get away with raising the price. So that's what we're kind of dealing with in the world of CoQ10. So it might be something that you don't see me featuring a lot, basically because I want to preserve the best value.
But it's definitely something you want to try. I mean, they like you, they really like you. Over 4,000 reviews.
No, it's a product with over 4,000 reviews, and I would imagine over 3,000 of them are 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
And so it's a product that, again, is over 90% positive reviews. And CoQ10, as I said before, the way we experience and produce energy, it's sort of weird to think about this, but every cell in our body is basically moving electrons around. And when it moves electrons around, that difference in electrical potential, that is ultimately energy that we experience.
Sure.
So whether, and it's so funny when you think of us as human beings with all the emotions we have and the experiences we have, all of that is a byproduct of electrons being moved around in all our cells. And so when you boil it all down, it's really up to the molecules, the nutrients, the components in our cells that perform that work as to whether or not we're going to have the energy we need or whether we're going to be fatigued. And I've always thought that the most common sense approach to having adequate energy is not taking a stimulant to spike your energy, but to make sure that you're approaching energy by looking at the 100 trillion cells in your body. And when you talk about CoQ10 and the other related cofactors in this product, that's talking about energy in every one of the cells in our body, the over 100 trillion cells. So that's the most intelligent way to approach energy.
On a foundational basis, I mean, for sure. So special weekend pricing, 30-day return policy, of course, free shipping. So if you want to do multiple sites, this is a great, CoQ10, I think, in particular, is a great gift for somebody to send across the miles.
And also CoQ10 is something that's been talked about now for about the last 15 or 20 years. But to give you a sense of how long I've been doing this, we introduced CoQ10 in 1984.
Oh, no kidding.
So we're probably like Diosmin. We introduced Diosmin 25 years ago, probably the first company in the US to introduce Diosmin, probably among the first companies in the US to introduce CoQ10 36 years ago. Glucosamine and chondroitin 41 years ago. Wow. So, and even back then in 1979, we had a multivitamin that had additional levels of vitamin D. So I recognize the importance of extra levels of vitamin D back in 1979. That's only something recently discussed, but that's because I'm science-based. I'm following the research. So we want to deliver products to you that enhance the natural systems in your body, but doing it following the science and the research. And then we make the products in as pure a natural fashion possible.
Well, and it's great to get it at that weekend special price as well. Yes. You know the hardest part of these shows? Notice he doesn't use any cards. We can talk a whole hour about any single product. You know this is my, well, this is what I do anyhow. When I'm at the gym and sitting on the bike or on a treadmill, usually what happens, someone will see it and they'll get on the bike next to me, and the next thing you know, I'm answering all, and it's great for me when they do that because the time passes so quickly. Well, that is true. That is true. Shall we, my friend? Okay, let's do it. So remember, oops, sorry about that, Dustin. That could have gotten ugly real fast.
Sorry. I didn't notice.
That part of me you don't want to see in high definition.
Okay.
Or 3D. Neither.
I'm not sure what part we're talking about here, but we'll just leave it alone.
Depends on when you catch me.
Okay.
Actually, this is another one of those products that, boy, you want to talk about a love letter or rave reviews, 4.6-star customer pick rating. And, you know, whether you are someone like myself, and, you know, sad to say, my digestive system, I've had to take a lot of those acid reflux, you know, a lot of things that really kind of throw your balance out of equilibrium. Certainly, this is a time of year where we struggle or maybe worry or maybe more aware of our immunity, your travel. traveling, et cetera.
Well, it's part of our immune system is our probiotics, especially when it comes to our digestive system, but all of the openings of our body are normally populated by our microbiome. What's exciting is I had recorded a little video the other day, and we're going to start doing these consistently, and they'll maybe run in the overnights, and it'll be a special presentation for a special product, but it won't be so much product-based as it will be about the science, because some of the science that comes out is just so exciting that it's just fun to have a video that discusses the science, that gives you updates on science, fun things to talk to your doctors about or your friends about. But what this study talked about, and it was incredibly exciting. And on the video, we have the Ultimate Friendly Flora is available when I do this video. But meanwhile, I never talked about the product because the science was so exciting.
It's true.
But if you think about your microbiome, you just think about, say, the organisms that are present in a healthy colon. Just your colon, your large intestine. So organisms in your colon, there are more organisms in your colon than you have cells in your body. There's more genetic material, DNA, in those organisms in your colon than you have DNA in your body. That's already an impressive fact. But there was a couple of studies recently published that basically dealt with something really fascinating. We know that if we look at our DNA, if we look at our genetics, it gives us a good sense of our health risks, our mortality risk, how long we might live, our disease risk. Like, we have some great insights that can be gathered from our genetics, of course. We know that, obviously. But if you look at the genetics of your microbiome, the organisms in your colon, guess what? It gives you more insights into your health, your well-being, your longevity, than even if you looked at your own genetics. So for us to ignore the composition of a microbiome, we're better off ignoring our own genetics than ignoring the genetics and the composition of our microbiome. So that, to me, was just such a fascinating piece of research. And the reason why the microbiome is so insightful is because part of what populates us, yes, relates to our own genetics, but what does it also relate to, and relate to in a major way? Our diet and our lifestyle, our stress levels, the medications we might be taking. So it just informs the fact that our microbiome, the more we learn, you can't neglect it, that whatever's going on in your brain, it's a direct link to what's going on in your gut. It's a direct link to what's going on in your body. And then we'll talk about vitamin D in a moment, but vitamin D is one of the simplest ways to help support a healthier microbiome. But what we're talking about here, we basically look at the most straightforward organisms that are the very definition in the science and the clinical research of what is a healthy microbiome. We keep it simple, we keep it straightforward, we don't get cute. There's over 25 billion colony-forming units per capsule, so it's an abundant supply. So you're getting the flora that you want, that you need, that's so critical to a healthy digestive system and to a healthy immune system.
And you're also getting it for a weekend special price, which is awesome. So remember, if you travel with this like I do, when I said I do a lot of the introductory sizes, and what I have like a little travel bag of my Andrew Lessman, this is one I definitely will not leave home without. So 30/60, remember 30-day return policy on any of the sizes and free shipping, 90 and 180. And if you'll notice, boy, for lack of a better term, that really is today's special pricing. Now I know we're technically calling it a weekend special, but remember, Andrew will not be here tomorrow. Oh, and one other quick word to the wise. I get so caught up in the information, don't you? Welcome to another hour. This is Andrew's last hour for his big weekend here at HSN. And we have not one, but two today's specials. Because the quantity is running so low, we're actually going to be doing abbreviated presentations of both the circulation and vein support and what's left of the turmeric in either case. Abbreviated at best, coming up at the end of the hour if you're channel surfing.
We're basically on both of those. We're through our original quantities, and we're basically going to be in the next few hours just going through whatever capsules we have in Henderson, Nevada, where we manufacture all of these. And I've explained this before. We come pretty close to predicting the quantities. We're usually plus or minus 1%. So what ends up happening is as sizes run out, in the last hours, we use the capsules that we have remaining in Henderson, Nevada. So again, all of the products that we talk about, the Today Specials, or even our Ultimate Friendly Flora, all of these products have been manufactured within weeks of our shows, sometimes days of our shows. The new circulation and vein support, that was sort of a twinkle in my eye 60 days ago. Yeah. It really wasn't into final production until a couple of months ago. So everything you're getting is fresh, which is really important with a probiotic. You do not want any variables sitting sitting in warehouses and trucks and things like that, going all over the country. This goes directly into HSN's warehouse, and then it goes directly to you. So that's your assurance that you're getting the freshest product possible.
It's probably fresher than the bananas I bought.
No,
I mean, seriously.
I say it joking, but I suspect oftentimes I'm not incorrect that many of the products of mine that you're getting shipped to your house, the produce you're buying in grocery stores might be a little bit older.
Yeah, no, that's actually no joke. Oh, and no refrigeration required either, which is awesome.
Which is another reason, I was talking about this with turmeric, that took years, even though I wanted to do turmeric, I wasn't aware of how to stabilize it and make the absorption.
I'm going to take a load off.
Oh, we're going over there? I'm going to go stand over here.
You go on with your bad self.
But I'm just wandering.
I'm sitting down.
I'm just wandering. Get comfortable.
But you know what? My feet don't hurt because I take circulation in vain.
There you go. No, but it's I like kind of moving around here.
I'm glad that you did that.
It's funny.
I
just said to Rick and Jenny I was talking to them. I said, God, all of a sudden, and I now realized why. But when I sat down again, I kind of felt like kind of tired because I sat down.
Right.
So I'm used to standing throughout the show. All of a sudden, I said, "No, it's I take a nap."
Hey, yes. I know. Well, I'm glad this was a late-breaking addition to our show, which I'm really glad to see. And remember, it's customer pick, like all your items.
And it's the reason why it's a late-breaking edition. I was thinking about the science and research that was recently published when we talked about the microbiome and how your microbiome, analyzing your microbiome, is really more insightful about your health risk, about your longevity and things like that, than analyzing the genetics of your microbiome and than analyzing your own genetics. And also, what another recent study had pointed out, that one of the simplest, easiest, and most straightforward ways to improve your microbiome, beyond eating a healthy diet, rich in cruciferous vegetables, fruits and berries, whole grains, nuts and seeds, that's great for a healthy microbiome. But one of the healthiest, easiest ways to do that, just have a healthy vitamin D level.
Sure.
Because most of us don't have healthy vitamin D levels, and it's been shown to compromise the balance and composition of our microbiome. And again, as I said before, our microbiome is connected to everything, most importantly, digestive function and brain function.
Yeah. So. Well, it's great, not only customer pick, but to see it as a weekend special pricing as well. Talk about wildly economical, though. I mean, seriously. And of course, we'll talk about this with the abbreviated look at circulation in vein and turmeric. But
what's funny is, as affordable as this is, at less than a dime a capsule in the large size, it underscores, when you look at the ingredients in circulation vein support, how expensive those ingredients are. And circulation vein support is only a little bit over a dime a capsule for a product that used to be multiples of that.
No, it's true.
So I've done my very best over the years to not just avoid prices, normal inflation on products, but most of my product prices have gone down.
For sure.
So I know my vitamin D today is less expensive than my vitamin D was 30 years ago.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
So things have become more affordable.
Part of what I was going to say with the abbreviated look at circulation in vein and turmeric at the end of this hour, those were both items you started talking about before anybody else. Same thing holds true with vitamin D. Well, I still remember. I do.
We used to always have to field calls at my offices because our multivitamins always had, even back in 1979, they always had at least 1,000 IU vitamin D3. And we'd have to get calls from doctors saying, why do you have such high levels of vitamin D? Now, of course, you wouldn't want to contemplate a multivitamin without at least 1,000 IU of vitamin D. Most of us should be taking between 2,000 and 4,000 IU of vitamin D3. And if you're overweight or obese, because vitamin D is sequestered in body fat, sort of trapped in body fat, you're going to have to take higher levels, more like 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 IU of vitamin D3 to get the appropriate blood and tissue levels that you need to achieve really optimum health and optimum function.
Well, and just to be clear, you choose the 1,000, 2,000, or 3,000, and that, I'm sorry, but that is still
and what we've done
baffling.
Is whatever potency you choose, it's the same price. So that's the normal price of the 1,000. And you pay that same price for the 1,000. And we do this all the time, whether it's the HSN price or the very special price this weekend, you're going to pay the same price for whatever potency. So if you get 3,000 IU of vitamin D3 for less than a dime a capsule, and one of the things you'll read in the reviews is countless reviews talking about the fact they'd taken other vitamin D, they'd taken 10,000 IU of other vitamin D, they'd gotten shots from their doctor. And their levels didn't move significantly. They used this product, and this product is designed to be available, bioavailable. They used this product, and it made a difference. It changed their levels.
It really has. And, you know, it's also the kind of thing, you know, I think it's hard to say no to your good health. I mean, it really is. I mean, even when times are tough, et cetera. But boy, oh boy, at this kind of savings and weekend special pricing,
well,
yes.
For a lot of us, it's hard to always make good decisions, especially when it comes to what we eat. So sometimes it's hard to say no. It's hard to have the willpower to say no to things that, like, I mean, I was planning on eating something healthy in my room. The freezer in my room here in the hotel room had frozen everything. So I was starving before I went on air, so I grabbed a bag of chips.
Yeah.
And so I didn't say no.
Right.
But at the same time, as much as I might not say no to something like that, it's easy to say yes to things that we know that are objectively just patently, positively good for us.
All good.
Having a healthy vitamin D level, it's something that our doctors should test and we should know. So making sure we have a healthy vitamin D level, it's just obviously good for us. It's easy to do. It doesn't mean that we can't make bad decisions here and there, but this takes 2 seconds a day and it's a good decision to make.
Well, and isn't it true, like if you weigh, if you're not at your optimum weight or you don't go outside, I mean, there are a lot of factors that.
Just as I was saying before, that if you're overweight or obese, you'll need more vitamin D to achieve the same blood level. And optimum vitamin D levels, they keep modifying the research to cite what is an optimal vitamin D level, and it keeps going higher and higher. I believe it's between 50 and 70, and for some individuals, even between 70 and 80 would be the appropriate level of a proper vitamin D level when you get a blood level test done.
But isn't it great that you're getting it at the weekend special pricing? And remember, 1,000, 2,000, or 3,000,
all the same price. And again, it just takes a couple of seconds. Even with vitamin D, it's one of the vitamins you can do this with. You can't do this with other vitamins, but with vitamin D, if you know you're someone that really struggles to take something every day, you could say take 10,000 once a week or twice a week, something like that. So vitamin D is something that you can take a higher level. If, say, you'd normally want to take 2,000 a day, you could take, say, 5,000 every third day or something like that. And certainly with our 3,000 IU, it makes it very affordable. If you wanted to take 3,000 every other day, it makes it basically less than a nickel a day, which is really affordable.
And, again, I can't get too far off track here, but it won't upset your stomach, no repeating, no additives, nice small capsule.
It's a tiny capsule. I mean, it's with my big fingers, you could probably hardly see it.
They're not stud capsules. That's
it's a tiny, tiny little capsule. So it's a tiny little capsule that's easy to swallow. It will never upset your stomach. If anything, it will tend to settle your stomach, which is what most of my products will tend to do.
Absolutely. Is it semi-ironic that it's made with the energy of the sun and I don't get the sun? So this, I'm living vicariously through your vitamin D.
It's not even semi-ironic. It's actually logical. Because how do we make vitamin D in our body? Exposure to the sun. How do we make vitamin D at my factory in Henderson, Nevada? Exposure to the sun. There you go.
See?
So it's not even ironic.
Look at that.
It makes total sense.
It does. Okay, look, I'm going to pace myself. Okay,
so,
there we go.
No, that's one of the things, as you get older, one of the good tests for balance and leg strength is how quickly and how easily we can get up from standing from a lower flat surface. As we get older, that can be kind of challenging. And speaking of vitamin D, when they look at tests on vitamin D helps with leg strength, vitamin D helps with balance. So it's one of those things in some of the research studies on vitamin D that they observe improvements in that ability. If you're like the ability to go to a seated position, put all your weight, shift your center of gravity, and then if you're 80 or 90 years old, to be able to stand right back up again.
Isn't that interesting? All right, well, we've got a lot to get to, and of course, this is Andrew's, big finale. Of course, the today's special abbreviated look at both of them at the end of this hour when price all goes up at midnight. This is what we call our monthly special, but you look at that calendar, February is short to begin with, but the month is almost over. This is one, boy, I'm trying to remember the last time that I saw this go on special. And I actually take both of these every single day. I'm a big fan of both. So you can choose your fruitful or your cruciferous. Now for me, listen, I try my utmost best, but whether you do have certain challenges, like my grandmother, I leave her as an example, like eating a lot of broccoli and kale and things like that was a challenge for her. And so were, the acidity in fruits and, that kind of thing. So, and certainly this is not a license to eat badly, but I think it's certainly, for me, it's a prompt, it's a reminder, but it's also allowing me to know I'm doing my utmost best every single day, and you're also doing it for the best price.
Plus, they're expensive.
You bet.
I don't do as much grocery shopping as I used to. And the one thing, typical products I know the prices of, but I was astounded at the prices when I look at, say, sweet berries, raspberries. I love raspberries, or blueberries, how expensive they are. And you feel horrible when they start growing fur in your refrigerator. And so these are extremely expensive ingredients. And the one thing that's really important to know, there are a lot of products out there that I call them the kitchen sink products, that whether they're fruit-derived or vegetable-derived or blends of both, you'll see a label with 50 different fruits or 50 different vegetables, and they're just a long list, and all it is dried broccoli or dried cauliflower or dried kale or dried raspberry or dried cherry. And it's all these different fruits or berries or vegetables or cruciferous vegetables, whatever it might be, but they're just dried fruits and vegetables. Right. You can get those ingredients incredibly affordably as a manufacturer from basically food processors, because it's the leftovers of food processing. But if you want to do what we do, when we make a product like this, every one of those fruits and vegetables is a standardized extract, meaning that it probably on average costs 50 times more than the dried fruit. In some cases, more than 100 times more than the dried fruit. And what is the difference? Bilberry's a berry, like a blueberry. Bilberry, as a berry, you could get dried bilberry for next to nothing. But if you want to get a standardized bilberry extract that's standardized for, say, 10, 15, 20, or 30% anthocyanins, all of a sudden, that's not costing a few dollars a pound. That's costing hundreds of dollars a pound. If you want some dried apple, you could buy dry apple for next to nothing. But if you want apple that's a standardized extract and standardized for apple polyphenols, specifically for apple polyphenols, then you're talking about something that costs a few $100s a kilogram or a few $100s a pound. So with every ingredient, say in our fruitful antioxidant extracts, every single one of these ingredients, and there's no additives, no binders, no fillers. That capsule is 100% full of beneficial ingredients. At the bottom, we have 30 milligrams of vitamin C, just because a lot of these come naturally with vitamin C, so thought we'd put a little bit extra in there. So we remove the sugar, the carbohydrate, the calories. We are targeting the beneficial compounds. So whether it's acai berry, and we have 3 different standardizations, bilberry extract, 10% and 25% anthocyanins, black elder extract, 15%, 30% anthocyanins, and then cranberry extract, grape skin extract, pomegranate extract, blueberry extract, extremely expensive, cherry extract, chokeberry extract, grape seed and raspberry extract, resveratrol, pure resveratrol from Polygonum cuspidatum, strawberry extract, strawberry concentrate, blackberry extract, apple polyphenol extract, and then some vitamin C. So what you're talking about here has no relationship really whatsoever to those products, those drinks or beverages or products, powders, that are just a bunch of dried fruits and vegetables. If you're gonna do that, just eat the fruits and vegetables. Do what I do at home, where I throw fruits in a blender or vegetables in a blender. I get one of those high-power blenders. Then I might put some marine collagen peptides in, put a little bit of water in. So I'm eating the fruits and vegetables themselves. And that's a good way, if fruit starts getting a little too ripe, that's a good way to still get benefits from it. What I want to do here...
Oh, I was hoping you would do this.
I just want to make sure, let me grab the capsules here. I think those are all but this is, well, that's heavy. That's probably a gallon and a half of water at least. And just to show the power of basically the anthocyanins. Wow. The anthocyanins are the pigments that make the blueberries, the bilberries, the black elder, just a few of those ingredients. Apple polyphenols don't have this kind of color, resveratrol doesn't. So it's just a few of the ingredients in that product. Probably about, I'd say 100 milligrams of the ingredients in that capsule. And that 100 milligrams, as you'll see,
the powers in the pigment. I don't know if I've ever told you this. Do you know I use your capsules to actually color like icing and things like that? Because I don't want to put sugar in. I've done that with fruit.
But look at that. I mean, I just stirred it for a couple of seconds. It gets so dark, it's almost opaque. You can't see my hand behind there.
One little capsule.
That's one little capsule. And mind you, in that one little capsule, if we look at this big chart, the ingredients that are really giving the color would be the acai berry, the bilberry, the black elder, and the blueberry, and the cherries, because those are the anthocyanins. It's probably chokeberry. So those are the ones that contain the anthocyanins, those dark purple pigments that are among the most protective, powerfully protective compounds we could ever contemplate ingesting, which is why I love dark like dark purple fruit and berries. But again, it just underscores how differently. If you took a fruit product that's just some dried fruit and threw it in there, you could throw a scoop in there, not just a tiny little capsule, and it will not behave like that.
It won't. I know time is of the essence, so just, you know, you do choose, I mean, but great pricing.
And the cruciferous extract, same pricing, the cruciferous extract, it is the same principle. All of the ingredients are standardized extracts, not dried vegetables, but standardized extracts, standardized for sulforaphane or glucosinolates or anthocyanins.
You know what, I'm really glad you did this as a monthly special. I mean, because, you know, I've been buying it, whether it's on special or not.
And
I mean, both of them, actually.
And also in the winter, these kinds of fruits and vegetables often travel long distances.
For sure.
So a lot of people like to shop more responsibly this time of year. We might not be sure how they were grown or things like that. And also they're very expensive. So it's an opportunity this time of year where hopefully winter's going to be ending in the next couple of months.
Amen.
And it's an opportunity for us to make sure we're getting those healthy components. Because again, what makes these fruits and vegetables healthy, of course, what's great is they're nutrient dense and they're calorically not dense, and that's why they're great foods to have in our diet. And I use these products to remind me how important these foods are. But those components that you see on the label or you see on that big chart, those standardizations, that's the defining ingredients that make these foods healthy.
Absolutely. And just as an aside, I know I mentioned it with vitamin D, but I won't say the competitor's name, but like their mean green, it's almost like a rock. You know, the ones that, you know, people are trying to do like these green things, and because it's trendy now.
Right.
This is the real deal. I mean, he goes to the source. So I like that.
Oh, yummy.
I know.
It tastes delicious.
You can taste like a little bit of it.
I just poured some of that into, I had a glass of water, so I could only pour a little in, but even at that diluted level, you could taste the difference. And again, just quickly before we run along, there's a lot of fruit and vegetable gummies out there that they give you the impression when you have this gummy that usually has 20, 30 calories of sugar and all sorts of other whatever is in there, that somehow it's replacing 3 to 5 vegetables. First of all, that's not a claim that can be made. And even with my product, standardized extracts concentrating large quantities of fruits and vegetables into this small dosage form, I wouldn't even make that comparison. If you want to start thinking about servings of fruits and vegetables, eat the fruits and vegetables.
Sure.
If you want to target the protective compounds in fruits and vegetables, then consume a supplement that specifically declares and targets those protective compounds.
Okay, not a lot of these to go around, though. I don't know if you'll be able to make adjustments or...
We'll try.
I always defer to the expert. All right, is it time? Oh gosh, where is this hour going? For real? Okay.
We're running along.
I know. Well, time flies when you're having fun and learning at the same time.
So we only have, we'll probably talk about circulation and vein support for about 20 minutes, maybe a little less.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about the turmeric for about 10 minutes, and that's it.
Awesome.
And we're obviously into our final quantities because we've sold through basically all our original quantity, and now we're just sort of divvying up capsules in Henderson, Nevada, and determining what we'll have available.
Absolutely. So this is it. This is your final opportunity. Circulation and vein support. First off, if you're new to HSN, Andrew Lessman makes the world's finest vitamins. Let's just start there. Circulation and vein, but it's true. I mean, it really is.
No, that's what I set out to do 41 years ago, and one of the ways you could tell is that we make our own products. Most of the products you see on store shelves, most of the products you see on the internet, I'd say 99% of the products you see on the internet are likely manufactured by what are called contract manufacturers. So you're basically buying something from a marketing company. So we make everything ourselves. In fact, the only reason the circulation vein support, this brand new formula exists, is because we made it ourselves. Most companies would take a couple of years to get something ready. We were able, once the science and research came in, I couldn't move quickly enough, and it wasn't me. I couldn't decide quickly enough. It was everybody at my company who moved quickly enough, and they moved heaven and earth, and they pulled it off. So you're able to get this incredibly new formula. Last year was our best price ever. We matched last year's price, although the formula is superior to last year's formula. And it's a fraction of the cost of what I introduced it, yet it's multiple times more potent than when I introduced it. Kind of like our healthy hair, skin, and nails. It gets better and better and more affordable. Absolutely.
And actually, we have far fewer of these than I actually thought we would have at this point. Then I know Andrew and his team, they move mountains for you, and they will.
We're into our last capsules, and it's really, every year, because this is when we really feature it, and then we just talk about it in passing over the rest of the year. But once a year, we really give it a lot of information. I'll read the testimonials and reviews, even though probably in all the shows, I probably read 30 testimonials. I went through the science a lot. My apologies if that bores you, but as far as the science, for me, it gives it the credibility that this is not some little fluffy product I put together in my kitchen, that this is a serious product based upon serious science, whether it's the diosmin, or our butcher's broom extract, or our horse chestnut seed extract. Any one of those 3 ingredients has incredible science that would justify it being the standalone product that I could go on and on about how wonderful the product would be, just with one of those 3 ingredients. Ours now has all 3. It's the first time I'm able to say it, and our diosmin is unlike any other diosmin available in any other supplement anywhere in the world. So it truly is a unique formula. And if you don't think that you can make a difference in the changes in your circulation, the blood vessels, the veins in your legs, the appearance of those tissues, then prove me wrong and give it a try. But it really is an opportunity to make a difference and do it naturally. Show it to your doctor. This is not a drug or a medicine. It's not intended to substitute for your relationship with your doctor. But it might enlighten and inform your doctor, because a lot of doctors here in the US don't know about these ingredients. In Europe, doctors in Europe know about all 3 of these ingredients, and they've been recommending them to their patients for more than half a century. Diosmin for 75 years, literally centuries for butcher's broom extract and horse chestnut seed extract. They've been used traditionally for heavy legs and healthy circulation of the legs since the Middle Ages. And what's amazing is the science has absolutely, unequivocally validated the traditional use.
So I apologize in advance. I mean, I wish we had more time to talk about it, or quantity for that matter, because there's so much information to get through, not the least of which are the reviews. If you missed my little introductory preamble, this is one of Andrew Lessman, makes the world's finest vitamins, one of his top reorder products. Now, that being said, there are other vitamins out there. There is no other product like this. So let's just be clear there. Number 1 reorder, or one of his top reorders. I buy it whether it's a today's special price or not. So whether you're already a fan, you know today, now, this show, only until 12 midnight, boy oh boy, if you were gonna stock up, if you had that experience recently as I did, because I did not do my math correctly when Andrew did this as a today's special last year, and I actually ran out of product. And I can tell you for a fact, in a lot of different areas, you yes can feel, but you can see a difference as well. So here's what we have. And by the way, if you are new to HSN, I would love, love, love for you to try this, especially because that's a pretty bold claim. When you say you will see and feel a difference, by the way, in far less than 30 days, in your ankles, in your calves, in your feet, in your hands. I mean, all of that. Just choose your size of choice, because there will never be a better price. Andrew also does a 720 count for today and today only. And I just, as a caveat, I say only as long as supplies last, because even though there are great savings on what I call the introductory sizes, and remember, they still have a 30-day return policy, they still have free shipping. A lot of times with the introductory sizes, I'll send them to my mom, send them to my girlfriend Laura, send them to people that I really want to try the product, because once you try it, you will be a crusader. But if you're already someone like me, I take this every single day. I will never want to be without it ever again. Most of us are gravitating to that 360 or that 720. Now, after today, that's where that pricing goes. But here's where it gets really interesting. That 720 count is only offered today. So even when the price goes up to our regular, great savings, but regular HSN pricing, the 720 is not available. Now, I take 2 capsules a day. That's a year's supply. If you're sharing it, now remember, Andrew has upped the potency on in every level, and there is no other product like this. If you are sharing it, as he recommends, now start off with 2 capsules, get your body kind of rolling, and then you can taper down to 1 if you feel that's enough. I personally love what I do with 2, but it's entirely up to you. But if you take a look at what happens on the 360 count, and remember, all of the pricing expires at midnight, the 720 price is no longer offered after midnight, but you could literally, it's like what is like a buy one, get one. You could double the number of capsules for what you will be spending. And trust me when I tell you, there are tens of thousands of, hundreds of thousands of us who are happy, willing, and able to buy it at the regular full price. But if you can double your offer today for this show and only till 12 midnight, why not? And the feeling is profound. You read those testimonials and no kidding, if that doesn't move you to tears, I don't know what will. Because at the end of the day, when we do, first of all, a lot of us think that there's nothing you can do. And maybe you're watching the show, I say things are guided. Maybe you're saying, you know, my legs keep moving when I sit down at night. You know, I get those cramps. I can see my hands swell. I can feel my feet swell. I can feel my calves swell. In my family, you know, we struggle with spider veins and things like that. It's not curing them, but I can tell you, I remember what my life was like before I started taking this product, even because I bruise very easily. And again, it's not a cure treatment, but I feel like I'm giving my circulation what I need to.
Well, when we think about bruising, you know, bruising is not a disease or a disease state. Bruising, what happens is depending upon how fragile the capillaries and blood vessels are, say if we're talking about our legs, or even in our arms, when we get older, the skin can get thinner, we become more susceptible to bruising. So again, it really is about the fragility of the tissues and generally the blood vessels when we're talking about bruising. So if you could improve the tone, if you could improve the health of those blood vessels, then you're going to be less susceptible to bruising when you bump into something. And it could be the most innocuous, as we get older, that the most innocuous little thing can cause that very unpleasant little discoloration or bruise. But I have not read a lot of reviews. I've mostly been reading the science. I know that a lot of folks I love the science, a lot of folks love the reviews. So I just grabbed some more reviews and we'll just go through some of these for a little bit. I know we're down to our, we're down to our very, very, very last quantity and our last, what does it say? 11 minutes and 30 seconds. So, but amazing results. I added circulation vein support to my regimen of Andrew supplements just a month ago. No more leg discomfort or heaviness, spasms, or cramping. From day one, I was amazed at how wonderful I felt. I missed one day and noticed the heaviness and discomfort returned. I will never miss another day. It truly is a blessing in my life. Thanks. The best. I put this with my husband's other vitamins from Andrew and didn't let him know. Oh, that's sneaky. He came to me a week later and told me, it was the first time since his knee surgery in 2005 that his knee wasn't swollen at the end of the day. He was blown away when I told him what he was taking. Andrew's vitamins are the best. Wow, that's cool. Awesome product. That's what's called a double-blind clinical study or a home study, a blinded home study. Awesome product. I'm a middle-aged working nurse up on my feet all day having horrific nightly leg cramps. We used to call this a nurse's product because so many of the calls we'd get and reviews we'd get would be from nurses. I was resigned to the fact that this was the way it was going to be. We read that so often, I hear it so often, and nothing could be done for them. It's just the way we're aging. It's the way life is. It was that way for our parents, our grandparents. Wrong. I ordered these hoping that they would work some, and I would be very happy if they did. After using it for 2 days, no more leg cramps. Wow. It's been several months now, no more cramps. For me, it has been a miracle. I cannot thank you enough for this product. It's wonderful. I'm so glad I got the jumbo size because I won't go without these ever. Don't ever, ever, ever discontinue these, please. I won't, because I take them.
By the way, those are as written.
Well,
those were not, you know, added for on-air emphasis.
No, we just, the only thing we might edit is grammar, or if there's a disease claim or something like that, we'll remove it, because we don't want to make disease claims or things like that. Great supplement, like here we put the word "at." My husband and I were suffering from several problems with our legs and feet. We are both amazed at how quickly this product made us feel better. Thank you, Andrew Lessman. We are new to your company, but plan on only purchasing your products. When you claim they work, they work.
They work.
No more leg cramps. Thank you again, Andrew. My leg cramps disappeared in about 3 days. No more night cramps. I take one in the morning and one at night. I tell everyone about Andrew's vitamins when I'm talking health to my friends. Best products and quality, and a big thank you for all of your education on ingredients and background info. I'm hooked. Nice. Well, what do you know? It works. I have just reordered more. I'm 70, have flat feet, crippled toes, restless legs, joint discomfort, and I'm walking up to 4 miles a day since beginning this regimen. I was doing a couple of miles on the treadmill and have been able to walk up to 4+ miles. I no longer awaken with restless legs. It seems to be like priming the pump. I do the work, but this has helped me get to the next level of physical activity and leg strength, thanks. Wow, great review.
That's nice.
No more cramps or muscle spasms. I really like this. I don't have any more cramps or muscle spasms with my legs and feet. I used to get cramps when I would stretch. Also, when I was sleeping, I would wake up with muscle spasms in my legs. I take 2 capsules daily. A week ago, I noticed I was getting low, so I started taking 1 capsule. It did help, but 2 capsules are better. With 1 capsule, I can feel the muscle spasm wants to start, but it doesn't. With 2 capsules, I don't feel anything. I've ordered more. And again, the new formula, still I recommend starting with 2 capsules a day. If it only works in your budget at 1 capsule a day, you could try that. Life changer. I was such a sad summer girl the past few years, as it's my favorite season, but my ankle and leg swelling made me miserable at times. They looked terrible in the heat. After just 2 weeks of taking these vitamins and plenty of time spent in the sun and blistering heat, I have 0 swelling. I'm absolutely amazed. I'm amazed too. I will never be without these again. Truly a life changer. That's probably the most common phrase we read, life changer. As I am now happy in the summer again. Thank you, thank you. We'll do one more.
Nice.
Yes, yes, yes. Works. I've been getting horrible cramps, Charlie horses. I ordered these and the cramps were gone in 2 days. My legs are better at night, so I sleep better. I stopped taking them for a few weeks and the cramping returned immediately. I will never be without my Andrew arsenal. And again, when you read the reviews and see that so many folks are talking about benefits that are relatively immediate in a matter of a day or 2 or a few days, it should give you confidence that 30 days, 2 capsules a day, 30 days, is an abundance of time. Even based upon the clinical studies and research, it's an abundance of time. And you don't just have diosmin working for you with hesperidin, you have Bush's broom extract, and you also have horse chestnut seed extract. You have the 3 most clinically established, scientifically proven ingredients for the healthy circulation in your feet, ankles, and calves and throughout your body. You have all 3 at your disposal for the first time.
And done at levels, done in a way, there's no other product like it. I mean, so we can just say that. And we don't do it for this price. Remember, actually, there were a couple of things about those reviews, one of which was said, I reordered, but I reordered the larger one. Most of the orders today have been on reorder. And you know very well, you don't go back to a restaurant if you don't like the food. I mean, let alone a vitamin, and especially one with, dare I say it, a pretty bold claim. I mean, you're gonna have a pretty high standard of measurement when you say you're gonna see and feel a difference.
And again, with the reviews, usually, you know, I try to be rather comprehensive in my discussion of a product. So if anything, if someone's going to be disappointed, they're not going to be shy about sharing their review. And I think that no matter how passionate I might be, I think we are still ultimately somewhat skeptical because we see something on TV, we're used to it being a little disappointing, or just in general. I know more often than not, when I get a product, it's not quite what I thought it was going to be. And when you get something home that's as good or maybe even better, you're thrilled. And that's when I tend to post a review myself, when I'm blown away and I feel like I need to share the word with others because it's important and I want others to have the same experience that I had. And I think that's what a lot of these reviews are. It's not sharing the experience for no other reason. And even if you look at the way they're written, they often say, you should try this. If you have this, you need to try this. That it's written not with the writer in mind, it's written with a reader in mind. And I think that's what people are doing, is sharing their experience for the benefit of others.
So we love to share the information, but first of all, we are very busy. Use express ordering, use that mobile app, call that toll-free number, whatever it takes. But remember, we are raising the price at midnight. So we are raising the price at midnight. I can tell you for a fact, and I'm speaking for myself, and I'm sure the countless tens of thousands of you who have already tried this product, I will never be without this product. I will buy it regardless of the price. I just will. And if you've tried it, I know you feel the same way. However, if there is a day to stock up, especially since we can supersize you on our little BOGO here, well, it's not a little BOGO, 720 count is a size that is only being done today. All savings across the board, all 30-day return policy, all free shipping. But here's where the pricing goes. I'll buy it regardless, but this is the only day we're doing that. But you can actually double the number of capsules, since this is where our price goes, and get that 720.
I'm not sure how many capsules we have remaining in Nevada, but just looking at the sizes now, we had about 200 bottles in the large size. We have We have more people on the phone lines than we have bottles remaining. So what I'm hoping is that we still have capsules and we're going to be able to load in quantity, because fortunately we're down to the last couple of minutes here.
It's so funny. I've known Andrew a long time. I'm giving him the panicked look because I'm like,
I'm giving you a little bit of the panic look.
I forgot my phone at home, and normally I would be ordering during the show.
As I said, Sandy, I'll make sure that Sandy sends you a bottle.
Tell her to take the call.
Yes, take the call. No, and it's, this is once a year. It's a great opportunity. Whichever size you choose is a great value. The 720 capsule is a once a year opportunity. And again, this is a product that contains several expensive ingredients. And there's no additives, so everything in that capsule, and it's a small, easy to swallow capsule, so everything in that capsule is, if I can grab one here, everything in that capsule is just active ingredients. So as I open the capsule here, it's all you're looking at there is you're looking at our newly granulated diazepam, which I pointed out, part of the reason our diazepam works even better than it ever did is because it's now such a fine powder. It's like dust. So that's whether it's diazepam, horse chestnut, butcher's broom extract, you're getting all of those ingredients in a small, easy to swallow capsule. No binders, no fillers. It's all beneficial, active ingredients. It will not upset your stomach. It will be easy to swallow. And if you want, you could always do what I did, open that capsule.
Sure. You
could put it in oatmeal. You could put it in a smoothie. You could put it in whatever you'd like. And because it's a nice soluble powder, but it's such a small capsule and it's a soft capsule, so it gives way. So it's going to be a pleasure. As I always say, we make products that are beneficial. And I always struggle when I see other vitamins that are made with ingredients you don't want to swallow, or big tablets or big capsules that are impossible to swallow. So all they do is, in trying to deliver benefits, all they do is introduce problems. We make sure there are no problems, that all you're getting are the benefits you seek. That's
Absolutely. It. And by the way, at any walk of life, any age, I'm going to be buying this for my friend Victoria. She's in her 20s, but she's always moving heavy tables for the kitchen area. So I'm going to play devil's advocate. So if somebody's watching the show and they're like, oh, I'm not on my feet, I'm not on that treadmill, if you have to sit in traffic or sit behind a desk, sometimes it can be worse.
And even the flip side of that, a lot of folks who, and I was just speaking to someone the other day at the gym, they're in their late 80s, and we were talking about this product, and she never tried it. Why? It's too late. I'm already in my late 80s. I'm not going to be able to make a difference. It's too late. And if anything, when our systems, as we get older, our systems really rely on what we provide on. When we have youth on our side, that's sort of a tonic in and of itself. So the older we are, the more we think that we can't change the way things are. That is when the greatest opportunities exist. That's the greatest opportunities for us. So if you or someone you love might be in their 80s or 90s or 70s. They might have had surgeries recently that might have challenged the blood vessels in their legs. That's an opportunity to really see this product at its very best. Of course, you could show it to their doctors if they're taking other medications. There shouldn't be any issues at all.
But we are in the home stretch. So this is it. Final opportunity, final quantities, price only good until midnight, you know, with what's available. And that 720 count size only being offered today, let alone the today's special price. So hopefully you can grab
I just heard we added a little bit of quantity, so we added a few hundred in each of the sizes. So I think we're going to be good for at least the next hour or so. So we're good. So now we'll talk about the last call on turmeric, which turmeric is sort of in an equally compromised state.
Yeah, I know.
But we've had it all day, which that makes me happy to be able to talk about it all day long.
And I think that's important. If you are channel surfing, then...
Because this is also, by the way, way beyond what we anticipated.
Oh, I bet it is.
So we're actually using inventory for future months in order to fulfill orders today. So this is way beyond what we planned, which is a great thing.
It is, and it's all good, especially when we can talk about turmeric, which I know top of mind, you can't be on the internet and not hear about turmeric. Not all turmeric is created alike. This is the only day that we're doing this pricing though, so I think that's one of the reasons a lot of people like myself, I take it just like circulation in vein, regardless of whether or not it's a special price. So we are doing it, it's done not only in the standardized format, but delivered in a way so your body can reap the benefits. 30, 60, 120, 240, and then the 360, which is great to see as a today's special. Pricing goes here for less than $100 with FlexPay and free shipping to get that 360, especially if you're someone like myself, because I take it twice a day, you don't have to, but I take it for a lot of
And
reasons.
that's a year supply.
Right.
You don't have to take twice a day.
No.
You can take 1 capsule a day. You could take as many as you'd like or as many as your doctor might recommend. But when you're looking at turmeric, again, it's not just a matter of putting, first of all, you could just take dried turmeric root, which again,
Right.
going back to when I was talking about fruitful antioxidant extracts and our cruciferous veggie extracts, when you're looking at those products, it's not just dried fruit or dried veggies. It needs to be a standardized extract that targets the protective compound in each of those fruits or each of those vegetables. So when you're getting, say, turmeric root, if you're gonna put it in a pill, that would just be like turmeric spice. And that would be about 1% curcuminoids. And the curcuminoids are what is beneficial in terms of our health. So the turmeric spice would taste good, but it would only be 1% curcuminoids. In a supplement, typically the great supplements are going to be 95% curcuminoids, so that's 95 times more. But the problem with a supplement is those 95% or those 95% curcuminoids aren't well absorbed and aren't necessarily going to be able to deliver their benefits because they're not well absorbed. They basically will go through your digestive system, delivering their soothing benefits to your digestive system, but not getting to your liver, your brain, the other systems in our body that could benefit from turmeric, our joints, for instance, where we enjoy their soothing benefits. So you have to make sure that the supplement you're taking has a system that enhances its delivery. There are 2 reliable systems for doing so. There's the system we use, which is I call the most natural system, that simply takes fat, just as when they use fat when they cook in India and when it complexes with fat naturally, the curcuminoids in turmeric become more bioavailable, they become more available to you and your body, they can be absorbed. The other method for enhancing the absorption of the curcuminoids is using black pepper spice, something called piperine. That's the most common vehicle that's used because it's less expensive, it's simpler to do. The only problem with that is black pepper spice can be irritating to the GI tract, and a lot of us already are taking medications and things for GERD or GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, irritated esophagus or stomach. So the last thing we want to do is necessarily taking a supplement that could increase that irritation. And also, black pepper spice can affect the absorption and the metabolism of certain drugs and medicines, which obviously would not be a good thing. So what we've chosen is we complex it with fat, but not any fat, not a random fat. We complex it with a phospholipid. The phospholipids are the critical fats in our body that are the predominant fats in our liver, predominant fats in our brain. So we complex our 95% curcuminoid turmeric extract with phosphatidylcholine, the principal phospholipid in our liver, the principal phospholipid in our brain, which makes sense because what are the 2 of the most important sites of benefit of turmeric and curcuminoids is the liver and the brain.
Absolutely, and I love what Andrew said last hour. In case you missed it, go into that little search field on your internet, on your browser, and just type in turmeric and see where it all takes you. We always love to say that knowledge is power, but the more you know, the more you're gonna be compelled, the more you're gonna wanna take this. I know I mentioned my own individual result. I actually originally started taking this for my joints, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I have to take prescription medication, so it's gonna help my liver, and it's gonna help my brain, it's gonna help my kidneys, and it's gonna help my eyes, and gonna help my, no kidding. Do a little search, but as we often say, if you're gonna take anything, you deliver a paycheck, you deliver that product to deliver those benefits. And yes, we learned so much from Andrew, but if there was ever a day to go armed with that knowledge, but get the right turmeric at the right price, it is absolutely right now. So of course, you can always choose whatever size suits your budget. I do like what I call the introductory sizes for my little travel bag, because I won't be without this. But boy, oh boy, when you get into those bigger savings.
What I even do is I'll reuse that small bottle and we'll have the big bottles at the house. So in our travel bag, we simply refill the small bottles.
Absolutely.
So when we're traveling, and we travel a lot, so when we're traveling a lot, we're simply refilling the small bottles, but using the most economical, the large bottles, and the most environmentally sound, the large bottles, because that large bottle of turmeric normally is a 240 capsule supply, which by most company standards is very large. But once a year, our Today Special will do the 360 capsule supply of turmeric. And turmeric isn't a once a year, it's usually an every 18-month Today Special. hopefully, I know it's been requested more often, so maybe next year it'll be once a year. So, but right now, turmeric, you will not see it again at this price or anything close to this price until 2021. The same with circulation vein support or other Today Special. The 720 capsule supply of that will not appear until 2021, and the pricing won't be the same until 2021 as well.
Absolutely, but again, because sometimes people think of turmeric and a spice, is it going to upset my stomach? It's small, it's easy to swallow, there's no additives, there's nothing that's gonna repeat on you. But moreover, it is delivered in that way that it can give you that bang for your buck. And at this kind of pricing, it really is hard to ignore. And if you're like me, again, I started taking it because of joint issues, but then when you do a little search, we all check off all those little boxes, you know we do. So why not get the best turmeric delivered at the best price only for this show and only until 12 midnight? And I use that just for your information. I know we're so busy, but download that app, call that toll-free number, join us, but make sure that you get yours, because I can tell you for a fact, I've done it more than once, I'm embarrassed to say. I get caught up in the presentations and then I fill my little shopping cart and then I forget to make the phone call until the next day. And doggone it, even when the price goes up, I still fulfill the order because, you know I want it.
And we're down to our last few hundred bottles in every size. But again, I was just talking to Jenny that we are way beyond what we anticipated for both the circulation vein support and for the turmeric. And we reduced the time we spend on each of them. But because I'm not doing as many visits, what is nice is that we do a couple of Today Specials. And we covered two very, very important products this visit. And turmeric, if you don't get the product, the one takeaway you should get is it's worthy of doing more research. That turmeric is an ingredient that there's an abundance of information. If you go to reliable scientific sources on the internet, there's an abundance of information that you will leave convinced on how important this is to incorporate not just into your diet, but also into your supplement regime. And if you incorporate it into your supplement regime, unfortunately, a turmeric supplement has to have something that facilitates its absorption. And I think the best natural way to do so is to simply complex it with fat, the way you would complex it with fat if you were cooking with it. That's the natural way to enhance the absorption, to ensure the benefits of turmeric. Otherwise, absorption, it's inherently poorly absorbed. You're not going to get the benefits of what is, not an inexpensive product.
Absolutely not. So hopefully you're getting yours. I know we are very busy. Please use express ordering. I would love, love, love for you to try this. If you saw my Facebook post earlier this morning, I was trying to hint at, what a crusader I am. I even sprinkled a little bit in like a little, evening drink that I made for myself, because I love turmeric. I really do.
You could put it in veggie drinks. You could put it in anything, because again, turmeric is soothing for the digestive tract. Turmeric, because it's associated as a spice, it kind of gets a bad rap. So people assume it's going to be irritating to your digestive tract like garlic or onions or black pepper. They think it could be that kind of more irritating, kind of a piquant kind of a spice, whereas this is actually a spice that's soothing for the digestive system, especially for the small intestine and colon. It offers all sorts of soothing and healing benefits. So we often think about it for the liver and detoxification. We think about its soothing benefits for our joints, because if you actually look at the biochemistry of turmeric in our body, it behaves in a way that's biochemically soothing. So it's not, again, some non-scientific benefit associated with turmeric. There's actually a very straightforward scientific explanation for why and how turmeric delivers its benefits.
I actually didn't realize that it touches all of those vital systems, though. I didn't, I think I'm like a lot of people, you start taking it, and then people are putting it in beauty products too, which is also a whole nother thing.
You can't really put a decent amount of it in a topical beauty product because it will color you orange.
Right.
But I'm just going to read, I don't know if I'll just read a quick review quickly. You will notice a difference. My husband and I noticed a discernible improvement with joint discomfort from this product. I was waiting for a sale before the repurchasing, and here you go. And we noticed we were taking over-the-counter aids again on a daily basis. A few days again after we started taking Turmeric 400, the joint discomfort was greatly minimized. I have already recommended this product to my mom and her friends. Amazing. This has helped me and my dog. By the way, turmeric will be in our dog's joint product.
Nice.
Our dog had a pinched nerve, and my vet told us to get a prescription she was recommending, but I knew that Andrew's vitamin Turmeric 400 would work, and sure enough, my dog was all better. He's walking better and feeling like himself after giving him this vitamin twice a day. So again, a natural, soothing, plant-based, the components in turmeric deliver wide-ranging benefits, and I really, again, as I often say, You don't have to get my product, but hopefully getting this information is the start of you being curious about something that could be incredibly beneficial to you and your family.
Absolutely. Remember, pricing does expire at midnight. We are doing that big size. We're doing the 360 cap for today, so please be patient with us. Andrew and his team are going to be working behind the scenes, you know, right up until midnight, I'm sure.
We're going to be very busy in Henderson, Nevada, packing out the last of the circulation and vein support and the last of the turmeric, because we went through all our original quantity, and now we're actually, any bottle you're ordering is going to be something we'll be making brand new and fresh for you.
Absolutely. Remember, circulation and vein support also available in that 720, the larger size, only until 12 midnight at that today's special price.
Yes.
So when do we see you back again?
You'll see me in March, but we'll probably be doing it from the West Coast.
Okay.
So we'll be doing something fun from the West Coast. The puppies will be there. Muriel will be there.
Nice.
So it'll be a good time.
Sounds good. Well, Andrew, thank you for an amazing day as always, my friend.
Essential One, by the way.
Oh.
Essential One today special.
See, preview of things to come. Thank you. Awesome job as always.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, keep calling. Remember that price is good until midnight or as long as supplies last.